Hello everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. Good morning and welcome to Sunday Show and Tell. It's going to be a short one. We don't have a lot to go over. I know there was the Hasbro fan stream for the Star Wars line, but Star Wars really isn't something that I'm into, so I'm not going to be going over that. Also, there was a bit of a hang-up on Friday night that I was having problems with the Friday night game night video for Spirit Queen's Torment, for Quest 6 of Spirit Queen's Torment. So that actually wasn't able to go live until Saturday morning. That got backed up a little, but it's live now. If you want to follow the continuing adventures of our party going through the Spirit Queen's Torment quest pack for Hero Quest, this one was a long one. It was kind of overwhelming too. But today we are going to start things off with updates on some crowdfunders that we've been watching, and we're going to go in the order of the ones that are going to end first, and that is Space Zombies from Mars. Now, admittedly, this is one that I want to see get funded because I really dig these astronaut aesthetics. I like the idea of the space zombies. And I just like the feel, I like the look, I like how each astronaut, even though each body is pretty much reuse, all of them have their specialties, their own equipment, their own looks. I think it's really cool. I really like it. The problem is that time of recording, there are 51 hours left, so just under 3 days. And, I'm sorry, just over 3 days. And it is at 58,950 of a target goal of $118,207. So it's more or less at about the halfway point with 55 hours left to go. Don't know if it's going to make it. And that kind of upsets me because I think it looks really cool. People that were working on it have worked with Big Bad Workshop and Fresh Monkey Fiction on a lot of their lines. So if the aesthetics of these things look familiar, that's why. They are available not only on Kickstarter, but also at Big Bad Toy Store for pre-order. Big Bad Toy Store is more expensive to order them that way, but you don't have to pay until they ship rather than paying once the Kickstarter closes. Now, something else about the Kickstarter is that not only are the figures cheaper, or less expensive, I'm sorry, on Kickstarter than they are at Big Bad Toy Store, they also have bundle pricing, so that if you get more than one, it brings the price of each figure down a little bit. So there's that to take into consideration. Like I said, 51 hours left to go, roughly about halfway there. We'll see what happens. I still have my fingers crossed. I'm still hopeful that maybe come tomorrow, come Monday, Big Bad will say, hey, here's the numbers of what we've pre-ordered, and that will get added to this, and we'll get a little bit of a bump. We'll have to wait and see. But link to this Kickstarter and the Big Bad Toy Store page in the description below. As always, links to everything that we are talking about in the description below, or at least anything that has links to it. The second one we're going to be taking a look at is Four Horsemen Beathir, Pillar of the West, which of course is their massive, massive dragon. Now, not too much has changed since we talked about this last week. There's roughly 1 week left for this, so things could change between now and then. This ends on 4/6, so like I said, roughly a week. Let me see something. 4/6 is 4/6 will be our next show and tell. So the next time I'm talking to you will be the day that this closes. So I'll be curious to see how this does. Now, as far as the dragon himself, just like we saw last week, as far as the dragon himself, he is unlocked. They've sold 2,000 units, which was their target point. So the dragon is selling. The dragon is going to get funded. However, we haven't hit the next mark, which is 2,500, which would open the first stretch goal of Sir Benegar's upgrade weapons and soft goods added, which I believe is a soft goods cape. So none of the stretch goals for the dragon itself have been unlocked. There are also 2 add-on sets for this that each are also like their own mini crowdfunder. And the first one we're going to take a look at is the Fiery Breath add-on kit. that it was unlocked last week as well. It had hit 1,000 units, which means that is going to go into production, which means anybody that ordered that with their dragon will be getting that with their dragon. In case you forgot, the dragon is $550, and the Fiery Breath add-on set is another $150. These numbers aren't including tax and shipping as well. So for Fiery Breath, we hit 1,000 units. It's been unlocked. The next one is, the next tier for the Fiery Breath add-on is 1,250 units, and that will unlock the upgrade kit for the Burning Knight, which truthfully, the Burning Knight is the one thing that I really, really want from this. I'm not backing the dragon. I already have at least one dragon coming this year. Also, what would I do with that? It's big. It looks gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but I have enough big stuff that like a big dragon, another big dragon isn't something that I really need to get my hands on. But I am planning on backing the Fiery Breath add-on kit as long as you can do an add-on kit without having to back the dragon, because I want that Burning Knight, especially if it reaches 1,250 units and we get the Burning Knight add-on set. Now the third one, the third piece and the second add-on set, I'm kind of raising an eyebrow about, because it is the Epic Wings add-on set. Much like the Fiery Breath, there is a 1,000 unit threshold to even go into manufacturing, and then there is a 1,250 unit threshold to unlock the upgrade kit for the Ashen Knight, or the Ashen Skeleton that comes with it. But what's confusing me is right now it's saying it is currently locked, that they haven't hit that 1,000 unit goal. I swear at the beginning of the week, they had reached that goal and everything had been unlocked. It seems I'm wrong or something changed. I'm not sure what, but I was almost certain that the Epic Wings set had been unlocked as well. Like I said, it ends next Sunday. The Dragon Beathir Pillar of the West is $550. The Fiery Breath add-on set is $150. The Epic Wing add-on set is $150. All Dragon and Fiery Breath are going into production. Epic Wings have not. None of the stretch marks, none of the stretch goals have been unlocked yet. So next week, when this is closing on Sunday, I'm going to be very curious to see what happens with these numbers. The next one is one that I haven't talked about yet. I had been following the campaign. I had signed on to follow for updates and be alerted when it goes live. And I had been following it for so long that I was actually wondering if this was even going to happen. This one is on GameFound. It is not on Kickstarter. Once again, link to the campaign in the description below if you're interested. But it is it is G.I. Joe Operation Cobra by OC Games. Who's OC Games, you're asking? Good question, because I asked that question too. OC Games appears to be a new entity in the gaming industry, but they're not coming out of nowhere. This is sort of like a group of industry veterans have gotten together. I'm not going to go through all the names, but if you want to check out the roster of talent on the campaign page, they have that listed. But it's a bunch of people that have been in the industry that have gotten together and have started their own company. I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing company or if this is just going to be something where, hey, every once in a while we're going to get together and we're going to put together a game that we really like and put it out there. This is their first foray. This is officially licensed by Hasbro, so Hasbro's name is on this as well, which when you have a brand new manufacturer, there is that little bit of tension there. But with Hasbro's name backing it, I feel a little bit better about that. But this is on GameFound, and it has really just blown the roof off of the campaign. So I can't remember what the original target goal was, but I can tell you that this funded in just over half an hour. This funded in 32 minutes, And right now they have 2011 backers, time of recording, with $557,528 behind it. Now there's only 9 days left because this was a very short campaign. There's only 9 days left. This is a co-op tactical tabletop miniatures game that is set up to be played by 1 to 4 players. So you can play with friends or you can solitaire it, which is something I would probably do once I get this for like Friday night game night to like play through and see how it works. This is an instance where like once this once this campaign goes off and manufacturing starts, this is going to be available at retail. It will be more expensive, and they do talk about that in the campaign, what the price difference is going to be. But also there are a number of rewards that are only going to be available through this Game Fund campaign, that you're not going to be able to even buy them as add-ons in the backer kit once this closes. So I'm very excited about this. It's G.I. Joe. Obviously, I'm excited about it. And there are 2 price tiers for this. Let me get down to that. There's 2 price points for this. One is private, which is $125, which is just the core game, the core box set. Then there is the Sergeant level, which is $225, includes the core game and 3 expansion packs that include Cobra's Finest, Enter the Ninjas, and Dreadnoks Chaos and Mayhem. It's important to note that there are actually 5 expansion packs available for this as of right now. There's no all-in bundle yet, which I have a feeling that the closer we get to closing out the campaign, there's going to be like General, which is going to be an all-in bundle, which will make the price go up even higher. But right now, just as an example, for that Sergeant price point at $225 for the core game and those 3 expansion packs, I think it's saving you somewhere in the neighborhood of like $80 to $90. So that's how much cheaper it is getting it through Game Fund, getting it through this campaign, rather than waiting for retail. Also, it's important to mention that Game Fund's kryptonite to me is their stretch pay. That if you go, you can pretty much opt to go in on a payment plan, where once the campaign closes, instead of taking all of the money at once, they will deduct it monthly from your account, so you can pay in installments, interest-free installments, I might add too. That's important to note, interest-free. So that is why I got suckered into the Sergeant level with the core game and the expansion packs. And there's a very good possibility I'm going to go all in if they have an all-in bundle. We'll have to wait and see. So let's just talk about the core game for now. I'm not going to go into all the rules and everything. You can check that out on the campaign page. It looks really good. It looks really cool. Honestly, as much as I like G.I. Joe Mission Critical by Renegade Games, this is kind of what I was hoping Mission Critical would be. Sort of like a tactical skirmisher game where the board can change, the rules can change, mission parameters can change. I like Mission Critical, but even with the other expansion packs, it can get very monotonous, to me anyway, just playing on that circular board and basically having the same end goals of each game. So I like it. I'm glad I backed the Mission Critical Kickstarter. I'm glad I have it. I think it's cool, but this looks more like what I was hoping that game would be. So with the core box set for the Joes, the 4 Joes you get are Duke, Roadblock, Snake Eyes, and Scarlet. For Cobra, you get Cobra Commander, Major Blood, Zartan, Crocmaster, Dr. Mindbender, Firefly, Cobra Officers, Cobra Troopers, Cobra Vipers, Cobra Bats, and Techno Vipers. It's also important to note that just like the Renegade games, just like Mission Critical we were talking about, the minis on this are based off of their classified appearance. So Roadblock, for example, is based off of that Wave 1 classified look from way back in the day, with the big arc caster that he's carrying instead of having his Ma Deuce. And Duke is actually based off of his Wave 1 appearance as well, not like the retro card version. And I think he has like that AR looking laser rifle that he has. So just so you know, that is, and I'll put some up right here as well so you can see for yourself, but that is the appearance that they're going for. Now you may have noticed, especially on the Cobra side, that there are some big names missing. So let's get into Cobra's Finest expansion, which this is part of the Sergeant level, Sergeant Pledge tier as well. For Cobra's Finest expansion, you get Gung Ho, you get Rock and Roll on the Joe side. You also get Baroness, Destro, the Iron Grenadiers, and the Crimson Guard. With the Enter the Ninja expansion pack, you get Jinx, Quick Kick, not a ninja, Storm Shadow, and an army build of the Cobra Red Ninjas. For Dreadnoks, Chaos, and Mayhem, you get Outback and Beachhead, which I know a lot of people will be excited about Beachhead, Ripper and Buzzer, and then Range Vipers. Now, there are 2 more expansion packs that are not part of the Sergeant tier pledge level, which is what makes me think there's going to be like a general pledge level, an all-in pledge level eventually for this game. Especially for this one, Cobra's Revenge expansion. Now, this lets you play the game as Cobra. You don't have to play it as the Joes. It lets you play the game as Cobra. I didn't see anywhere that it says whether or not it lets you do a versus game, but I think that would be cool as well. If like it gave you rules for setting up so that like maybe if it was like a 4-player game or a 2-player game, you could go 1-on-1 or 2-on-2 with like Cobra versus Joes. That would be really cool. I don't know if those rules are in there though. But the minis you get with that are Serpentor and his Air Chariot, Tomax and Zaymot, and G.I. Joe Operatives and Enforcers. Now the Operatives and Enforcers are based off of the Steel Core figures that Hasbro has put out. I also want to say, I think it's kind of jive that you have to get the Cobra's Revenge expansion pack to get Tomax and Zaymot, when in the Cobra's Finest expansion pack, that's where you get the Crimson Guards. Just saying. And then the Legions of Cobra expansion pack is basically an army builder expansion pack where you get Snow Serpents, Televipers, and Retro Cobra Troopers. And what I mean by Retro Cobra Troopers is the Cobra Troopers you get with the core set are based off of the first wave Cobra Troopers, Cobra Infantry that we got, where some were in Target and then they released some as part of like, was it the 3rd wave for the army builders? I can't remember. But the Retro Cobra Troopers do look more like these guys right here, that they have more realistic looking uniforms. They're not really armored up. They're just wearing clothes, and they have the AKs shouldered instead of the laser rifles that the original troopers and infantry came with. Now, in addition to all of this, they're also doing daily unlocks, and these daily unlocks are additional figures that are not going to be available anywhere else except as part of this campaign. At least that's what they're saying. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, these are all campaign exclusives, that these are the only, that by backing this campaign, that's the only way you're going to be able to get these characters, these figures. So far, what we have unlocked, and keep in mind, I'm recording this on Saturday, so I don't know what Sunday's daily unlock is going to be. But so far, we have Flint, we have Road Pig, we have Falcon, we have Big Boa, and we have a 2-pack Timber and Fiona, the wolf and the crocodile for Crocmaster. So the pets will have their own stat cards as well, which is kind of cool. Now the Cobra figures of Road Pig and Big Boa also come with their own missions. So like their own missions to like character specific missions to use them in. So not only are you getting the figures, you're also getting new missions and more, and kind of like a mini expansion for the game as well. The minis are 35mm made of PVC. So we have, what do we have left for this? I believe we have We have 9 days left for this one, so just over a week time of recording. I believe this will be going off the Monday after the next show and tell, so we'll have at least one more update for this as well. So we got 9 days left. We have more exclusives to unlock. We have yet to see if there's going to be an all-in bundle. And in addition to, in addition to those, there were 2 figures that for some people have been added in. There was Bazooka and there was a Retro Commando Snake Eyes. If anybody was following the campaign before it went live, like I was, they threw Bazooka in as a freebie. If you backed it in the first 48 hours, which I did, they throw the Retro Commando Snake Eyes in as a freebie. However, if you missed out on that, you can get them as an add-on for $7 each. So you still have the option of getting those ones. I think those are the only individual figures that you'll be able to add through the campaign. We'll have to wait and see. I'm really hoping that one of the unlocked characters is going to be Stalker. If we don't get Stalker, I'm not saying that's going to ruin the campaign for me, that I will be completely like washing my hands and out, but Stalker's my favorite, man. And I really hope we're going to get Stalker in on this game. Jada Toys seems to be popping up on the show every week now. And in addition to the WonderCon exclusives that we've talked about over the past couple weeks, this week they have unleashed their newest cereal mascot figure, which is Tony the Tiger. And I know there were a lot of people waiting for this one. He does look really cool, very bright, very vibrant. Right, like the color scheme ranks right up there with like Chester Cheetah. That Chester is one of them. There is a glow-in-the-dark Chester Cheetah. There are, of course, the 3 cereal monsters of Frankenberry, Boo Berry, and Count Chocula. And now we have Tony the Tiger. And his proportions look great. He looks like he walked right out of the commercials or right off the front of the cereal box. He has a really cool, like, spinning basketball effect for his great finger that he has. He is $29.99, so once again, there is that price creep on Jada figures, but we knew that was going to be happening. And he supposedly is shipping in May, so that is right around the corner. Links for pre-orders for Tony in the description below. And wrapping up the show, like I told you it was going to be a short one, we have some Super 7 news. That the pre-order window for 2 waves is closing today, the day this video is going live. That is Sunday, March 30th. And that is Wave 13 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is the 2003 Turtle Wave. And that is Wave 5 of Toho Godzilla. That is Mothra and Bantra. And both of them are closing out. Now, that is only on Super 7's website. Links to both of these in the description below, as always. And yes, I know, Super 7's website kind of sucks. They should really do something about updating that. But they will still be available, the figures individually for pre-order on places like Entertainment Earth. Now, what is closing for Super 7 is the window to get the entire wave pre-ordered at once and get the bonus packs that come with each set. And just as a refresher, the bonus super pack with the TMNT figures includes a yelling Chirel head, which is basically, well, not even a head, it's just a yelling Chirel. It's basically Krang. An alternate Casey Jones portrait, a gauntlet, which, never having watched the 2003 Turtles, I don't know what that gauntlet is all about, and a glow-in-the-dark Sword of Tengu for Shredder. So you'll still be able to pre-order these, but the window to get the bonus pack is closing tonight. Likewise, with the Toho Godzilla Ultimates, you'll still be able to pre-order Mothra and Batra individually from places like Entertainment Earth or Big Bad. But with this ordering on Super 7's website, you get the bonus pack with that. That includes the 2 additional head sculpts so that you get the ultrasonic beam head for Mothra and the prism beam head for Batra, basically blast effects. So windows on that closing tonight. Now, something that did go up for pre-order as well this week. I'm not usually really big into the reaction figures. Having the just the 5 POA, it's just the aesthetic doesn't do much for me. To be completely honest, even in the 80s when this was the aesthetic for the Kenner Star Wars figures, I kind of hated it. I always kind of wished that they had the same articulation as my Joe figures, even before the bicep swivel came out. But that's neither here nor there. The reaction figures that are coming out that I'm going to be talking about are for Where the Wild Things Are. These are $20 each. They're shipping in April, so right around the corner. And I have to admit, these look really great. I loved Where the Wild Things Are. I haven't actually seen the movie yet. Part of me doesn't want to see the movie because I just want to remember the story as the book that I read numerous times when I was a child. I had it read to me for a bedtime story numerous times, and it was one of the first books that I read on my own once I learned how to read. So these are very cool. These are very special to me. I think the artwork on them is great. Right now, we're really only seeing digital renders. We're not seeing the figures themselves. I'm really interested to see what the figures look like. These are ones that I don't really care about the articulation. I would just get these and I would put them on the shelf and be like, that's cool. $20 each, shipping in April. The first wave, maybe the only wave, is Max, Carol, Bull, and Douglas. There's no accessories that comes with them except for Max, where he has his scepter. And I think I might actually be going in on these. There is no bonus pack, or there's nothing special if you order all of these as a full wave from Super7, not like the Ultimates we just talked about. So you can pick these up pretty much anywhere fine toys are sold. Links below. Now, something else that I've kind of been trying to keep track of that I was a little nervous about coming into this year, and that is Wave 2 of Dungeons & Dragons Ultimates. And we haven't seen nor heard anything about that yet. Now, there is rumor, basically. Like, I haven't found any thing to back this up. But the rumor is that Wave 2 is going to be announced sometime in the summer. Now, here's my thing. Wave 1 came out, pre-ordered it, got our hands on it. I did a video on it. Many of you have probably seen it. We also had the SDCC exclusives of the translucent Sheila, which was basically Invisible Sheila the Thief, and the glow-in-the-dark Dekion. Here's the thing, like, because of how big she is and what the price point on her is Tiamat kind of our wave 2? Because there's a couple of interesting things about the timing of the next wave of Dungeons & Dragons that I find very interesting. That Tiamat is supposed to be coming in June. I think it's either July or June. I can't remember. I don't have it up in front of me. But they're saying that the next wave is going to be announced later in the summer. And San Diego Comic-Con SDCC 2025 is in July 24th through the 27th. So it just seems to be serendipitous that all of those dates are sort of aligning with themselves. That Tiamat will be shipping about that time, San Diego Comic-Con will be going off about that time. That's also about the time that supposedly they're supposed to be announcing the next wave of Dungeons & Dragons figures. I'm kind of thinking we may have been getting all upset and nervous over nothing, that like Tiamat kind of is Wave 2 unofficially, that they're going to build Tiamat, they're going to get Tiamat out, they're going to bill for her, ship her, get her in my hands, get her in our hands, and then they will announce the next wave of figures. So I'm kind of easing off of my tension for that one. And once Tiamat ships, once San Diego Comic-Con gets here, if then we haven't heard anything, then I'm going to be worried. But just looking back on things, I really feel like this is all the plan. This is all falling into place. And while we're talking about San Diego Comic-Con and upcoming events, the final thing to talk about is that 4/11 is the Target Haulathon. I know nothing about what's coming up. I don't really follow NECA toys that much. I have a very limited collection of NECA toys, just some monsters and Flash Gordon. But the Haulathon will be coming up on 4/11, and yeah, there will be at least one more show from me before that goes up, where I may have a little bit more to talk about. I do know that there are reports that some stuff is already showing up on Target shelves, like Target's not holding anything back. They're just getting it, putting it out there. So there is the worry that, like, by the time Haulathon goes up and most of us are caught up on what's coming out, it's just going to be sold. So check out your local Target. I don't know what else to tell you about that one. Everybody, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me at the end. Thank you for making it through this. I really appreciate you giving the likes, giving the comments, and giving the views. Also, I want to thank everybody that has been subscribing lately. The subscriber count continues to stack up, and I really appreciate that. I love seeing more people wanting to be part of this that we have going on right here. And I think let's make it a goal to, like, maybe try and hit 2,000 subscribers before the year's end. I don't think that's a unreachable goal. I'm at like 1450 right now, so I think that's doable. Let's try and hit 2,000 by the end of the year. Something else I wanted to talk about before we sign off is that I recently ordered something from Nacelle Company, and I got this along with it. Go ahead and scan that QR code if you can right now. But RoboForce has a show coming out. An animated series that's going to be on Tubi starting on April 12th. Did anybody else know that? This was the first I had heard about it. I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out. So go ahead, pause, scan that if you want to, if you can, through the screen. Well, look who made it to the end, you legend. If you made it this far, please give the video a like and consider subscribing while you're clicking buttons down there. If you already are a subscriber, I want to thank you for taking time and hanging out with me and talking toys again. If you like what we do here and you want to help the channel out, please consider becoming a member of the Steel Core. You can do so by channel memberships or by becoming a monthly subscriber to my Ko-fi page. Link in the description below. Core members get access to members-only exclusive videos, the Discord server, and eventually members-only live streams, all for just $1 per month. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.